So many people suffer from imposter syndrome, and then I see these clips, and for so long people say, fake it till you make it, etc., etc. But I had to really realize I've always been an authentic person. I just didn't know when I was lying to myself, and that's the irony, is most people don't know that. So it comes back to this imposter syndrome. Working through different circumstances in our lives at different things and why. So I've done something that hasn't been done in a traditional way because of my life circumstances. And traditional help, I can honestly say, failed me. So I'm not the only person that traditional help has failed. However, my mindset is not the belief that everybody in the educational system is wrong, because that would be very arrogant and not true. Just like believing all doctors are not capable, and I'm talking in the mental health field, capable, or therapists, etc. My personal story, and this is the reason I do things this way, is they absolutely failed me. That's true. So when I say I had a base of eating disorders my entire life, what an eating disorder is too would be misunderstood, because in my past as a child and having a mother who's anorexic, bulimic, etc., witnessing that, but I'm experiencing trauma in my life. Well, there's distortions, right? And then a grandma who's focused on my appearance, and then, right, I'm being ignored in another household. I had to understand my circumstances and how that relates to body and self-worth. Then I discovered in the process, because my former career, in my life, I set goals. I want to be a published professional fitness model, spokesperson. I achieved that goal. I realized I never gave myself credit for the amount of work I did to get that. And this is where I realized it comes back to the imposter syndrome. And what I'm really trying to get at here is the fact that when I'm around people that identify that way with their appearance, I don't feel I relate, because that wasn't what I actually did. So the achievements that I had are big, in the sense that I was, in my younger years, now we're going back 20 years or so, there's a difference between being in your 20s and training and being in your 40s. Okay, but this will also, though, everybody has a different body type. So I can honestly say, looking back, I'm blessed. I've been all shapes and sizes, yes, but my, makeup I was able to train, work out, push myself, and achieve the goals. I was never able to diet, ever. So traditionally in fitness, especially to become a professional fitness person, you would diet, right, and go on stage. Well, I was a host for these shows and these different things because my skill happens to be, and I didn't even give myself credit or acknowledge this, how I can communicate and how I speak, which is ironic, because that's another issue. It's in some areas I'm exceptionally talented, and in other areas I'm not. My biggest fear, being exposed for the things that I felt I needed to hide. And that's the irony of what I want to share and need to share. And there's an age maturity in that, because I was set back. So the base of the foundation I'm trying to get at is when we feel loved, when we feel appreciated, when we feel safe, the difference of what we feel we can share and when we can't. And when I lost that foundation and base, I was set back to the brain again, almost of that child, and realizing the neglect that I went through and the circumstances. Well, I'm not the only one. And I realized the people that I would relate more to are the ones who are suffering in silence and misunderstood, or feel the constant dialogue failure, right? I'm a failure because I can't, whatever, live up to these expectations. So I am a high performance person who never identified that way and felt like she quit everything, the cycle, and I could never find my place. And I never felt like I was skilled or good at anything, and really it doesn't matter what I did I never thought I was good enough. I didn't have dialogue of people around me telling me it was more dangerous. I've been blessed in many circumstances, but I had to, the core. So this goes back, who's the 5 people in your head, or who you're surrounded with? Who's the 5 people in your head? Quite literally, when you're alone and you go into a meditative state, what's the dialogue? Is it positive or negative? So having said that, I'm in the process right now, and I'm like going back to, so this morning, I'm sick. I'm not feeling good. Okay, so there's a safety. I'm behind the camera, right? I'm not gonna pass it to anyone else. I'm healing, but I can't sit still. Okay, what do I go to still? Because I'm spun out. Is my addiction of the food obsession, which relates to my weight, which I really did heal on my own for about a decade. The universe kind of set me back, and I'm on a deeper healing. So I'm challenging myself to look at myself and go, who am I talking to? So people that I'll start a diet Monday, or I can follow something for a bit and then I fall off, or attaching your worth to your appearance. Then the next irony in that, though, is feeling guilty when you have achieved it, that you're not worth it. Because there's another kind of world that I've realized I come from, this shaming of when I like myself. I don't celebrate that with anyone. I don't celebrate my wins with anyone, because people generally, from my experiences, have ruined it. And that's actually another reason why I then went alone of, well, then why am I attracting that? Because I'm not that person. It's not what I give, but that's what I got. So that's interesting, because that's a core thing. So are you a self-sabotager where you abuse yourself and you're so kind to others? Ironically, even when you do that, that's your core belief of what you believe you deserve. And that's what I'm trying to heal at the base, is this. I'm looking back at all my videos, and I'm constantly always trying to lose weight when I was so skinny. Lose weight. When my body is not, that's not what it's wanting. So where did that come from? Because the constant obsession is the disorder. And that would be to anybody, though, obsessed with it, for if you're on the other side where you're so regimented, etc. However, discipline is important. And that's what I'm having to understand. So it's like letting myself go. I've had to do for years, but get back to a grounding and a base. It's like the fear of commitment. Because I don't want to let myself down was the core, because I haven't known how to trust myself without, okay, where is the grounding that comes from around you? Well, when your world falls apart, and that relates for a lot of people, don't like any type of stress that somebody's changed their life circumstances, whether it be loss of a partner, a relationship, a job, family member, moving, whatever. And then I realized I've had all of those things magnified all at once. That changed. It's like a death. Okay, how can I reset and find the grounding? And a lot of people could relate to that. So, I'm very cautious now, because it's like, I want to be more honest with what my intentions are more publicly, because my intentions have always been good privately, and I was hurt by that. But that came from a place too of low self-worth, ironically, and I realized the value of my time is so important, that the person that needs it, otherwise I'm not going to be available to anybody, is me. And the truth is, my health and recovery has been very hard for me to put myself first. That's not my natural state, although ironically, if you're only watching videos or that's seen me in the last, that's what it would look like. So it's a misunderstanding. Can you relate to that? Are you a self-sabotager? And do you feel at times you have imposter syndrome? Let me know.